Welcome back, everybody, to Scourge Rules the World, and there's also some other characters doing some stuff. What? All right. So, what's the next scene? Somebody frame this shit for me. So, you've finished up at Zanzibarcade, and have the at least the understanding of where Liquid Freak was. Kind of, you're getting an idea of what he was tied up in. Where are you? Where are you headed from here?
I mean, we're gonna be checking out.
I guess the fucking odd couple that is me and Jinx will head to the.
I want to
grass.
join.
We're gonna
want
call.
to
We,
join.
we need Drez there because Drez has to hack.
Yeah, I think we all go on a field trip.
Yeah,
Okay.
hacks.
So you're just gonna
Wait, we're bringing D-Res physically to a place?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hacker. You would know how to look for hacking hideaway things that people have in hacking nests. I don't know, hacks.
hacker nests.
Or failing that, Relay will come along so that Drez can be there by riding Relay into
Yeah.
the space,
Luke,
which is also fine.
if you really think that you need me there, but like,
I don't
I
think
know
you
you
need to
can-
physically be there. I can just plug into things at random. That works out great, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that worked out totally great. Yeah, what do you think? What do you want to do? Do you all want to go physically, or do you want to like pipe in? From
I mean,
elsewhere?
I'm gonna go, but that's.
I have an idea.
Uh-huh.
Adam, I've realized what piece of gear I want.
Okay.
I want a personal firewall so that I can plug into things with a little bit more impunity. That's what I want.
Okay. So is that how are you getting that? As you're using a piece of gear, or
I'm gonna have to hit the streets for this because I want this to be like
okay?
a
So this is the thing
permanent
you would
piece
have
of
done
tech.
before this.
But
Okay.
this is like, yeah, while all this other shit was going on.
Who do you know that can hook you up with this?
I think through a member of my crew, I am like introduced to someone, but I've got to like, I'm gonna declare a contact. as
Yeah.
being
Yeah. That's. I'm just
yeah.
asking you to tell me about that contact.
Yeah, so it's someone. It's like, imagine them as owning basically like a junkyard. They have like a electronics recycling business that they operate as like a front for the fact that they also deal in like black market like electronics, which is a very broad category, but like
Yeah.
they have
yeah.
like cybernetics and they have all kinds of
Yeah, like
random
just a junker, like
stuff.
a scrapper. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so it's he's one of the people that my crew sells scrap to,
Nice.
because we have a scavenging gig, right? So
Okay.
that's part
Cool.
of how some of it we keep to use for our own projects, some of it we sell to people like this guy. And this guy's name is I don't know. Can you give me a name for them?
Yeah.
Or I mean, they don't even have to be a guy. They can just be a person.
Yeah, their name is Skipper. And I think they got that name because they used to run, or maybe they totally still do. They run their business off a boat.
Yeah, and like they dredge.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
Probably to get a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So they're like they own junk on a junk. They own a boat, and and they dredge for wrecks. Cool.
Yeah, it's like a repurposed fishing trawler that now just scrapes the bottom of the ocean for electronics and metal and stuff.
Nice. Provider of repurposed stuff.
And I imagine them having like in a very like Ghost in the Shell scene from the refugee district thing. They have like weird, like 5 years ago cyberware.
Yes. Yeah. And like
and stuff.
they're one of those people who don't care about, like, I think they're like the equivalent here would be if I were like art directing the anime, I would be like showing them lots of pictures of those crabs that like live in garbage, like a crab that lives in a tin can, or like, so they don't care about their humanity. So they probably have like 6 eyes that all don't match. And like they probably carry around like a big external, like a power cell or something, and have like an extra arm. Yeah, they're barely human, I think, at this point.
Totally. Yeah. And so I go talk to Skipper, and it's like just me alone. I just like walk over there because roughly in like similar districts.
Yeah, I think Skipper goes up and down the bay, stopping at different places, and you know when
Yeah.
to meet them.
So I go to meet them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just like walk onto the boat and I'm like picking stuff up and like moving around my hands and looking at it while talking.
Yeah, yeah. So you're looking at something, and you maybe you don't recognize it at a glance, right? And they're they come up from below decks, and kind of like they have this like lurching kind of sort of Skeksis walk, and
Yeah, totally. I imagine them being kind of like spider-like.
yeah, kind of
or bird-like or
muppety and
something.
like only made out of metal and garbage. And yeah, and they come up, and in their like multi-tonal cyber enhanced voice, they're like. Yes, good stuff that. Dredged it up off a broken down Leviat cruiser some months back. Nuclear fuel in there, still good. Like taps it with a claw.
Yeah, and really like puts it down. Just goes, not what I'm looking for today. I'm gonna roll my hit
Yeah,
the
do
street
it.
move here. Kablamo, I get a 9.
Nice.
Which means that so I get what I want. Great. And then I choose 2 from the list below. So either it's going to cost extra, it's going to take some time to put together, it's going to attract unwanted attention. Can you help me out? Well, I want to help. I want to do a thing for Skipper because I love this character so much already. So I will select that option.
Okay.
And maybe cost extra means it costs double, right? Or does it just cost 1 extra cred? And I'm trying to get a sense of like how much this thing costs because I don't know whether or not I can afford for it to cost extra.
Yeah, let me check the greater description of the move in the book. Hito the streets. Survey says. Yeah, it doesn't say. So I feel like 1 extra is what we've been doing so far.
Wait, when
Okay,
it costs
and-
extra, isn't it supposed to be twice as much?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for the
Where
rule
does it
for that.
say that,
Where does
though?
it say that?
Oh, here we go. If they choose your request is going to cost you extra, double the cost or add a condition.
Where is
so,
that? Where do you see that?
This
I'm
is
just
it's
curious.
under the so it's on page 128 in the section for cred and spending it. and what you
Oh,
can
that's
get.
why. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because I was just reading about
Right. So
assets.
it's elsewhere. It's not in that move particularly. Okay. All right. Yeah. So it costs double.
Yeah, so
Or there's the
or that they
Okay, so it either costs you double,
it add
or
a
the cost
condition.
here is that it's got a bad tag, like it's unreliable or leaking or something.
Yeah, well, we don't want none of that. So let's put it. It's going to take time, and they need my help with something.
Okay.
So I might not have it for this scene that I want to do.
Sure.
Later, but,
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's say it'll take
but
an
I'll
extra.
have it at some point.
Yeah, they'll have to cobble it together. You'll get it, but not yet.
Yeah, or like he'll keep an eye out for this thing that I need. And so yeah, I just like. So we're back in this moment where I'm talking to him or to them, and I'm just like. I've been interfacing with a lot of things lately, and I need something. I don't have very thick skin as far as that goes. And I kind of like hold up my little like doll hands.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, just
Yeah.
like,
And they nod their like vaguely crustacean head, and yeah, and I think as they speak, they've replaced their mouth with like a speaker underneath these kind of like mandible like manipulators, and as they speak, the manipulators kind of like move up and down as the sound comes out of the speaker, and they're like direct interface, dangerous, very dangerous, firewall. That's what you need. And I think they reach out with one of their multi arms, like it kind of unfolds and like takes your head and kind of like turns your head around. And it's like software or hardware, and like tapping you on the skull.
an external device would be ideal.
Something in here, and like
Physical barrier to deal with more severe attacks. And I'm like flashing back to the black ice that I got hit with.
yeah, and
And
so
I'm like, fingering my contacts on my back of my neck, like because I have like my whole spine has these little like
the
ports
plugs
in it, and one of them is like still kind of scorched from the overload.
Yeah, and they walk over to a salt crusted like foot locker and crack it open, and the salt crumbles away onto the ground, and start digging through various piles of machinery, and they're like, I can put something together for you. It takes time, of course. Pieces, disparate pieces assembled, and they like start picking things up, and kind of like you can see them turning over the plan to assemble this thing for you in their head.
And maybe there's something I can do for you to make this easier, or to help you out.
Yeah.
I would love for us to have a continued amenable relationship. It's very important to me, the work that you do.
What kind of things would Skipper want from a person like you?
I hesitate to say people.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is,
I am the kind of person who might just bring them a person, but this person doesn't want meat, right? Like they
want parts to sell.
But I also know about like robots and stuff, and I can pilot.
Oh, I have an idea. Okay, so here's the thing they do. They're like, so they look at you for a second, and the various lenses kind of like you can see yourself reflected in this cluster of like glass, some of which is scratched and foggy. And they say they put a claw over your shoulder, and they're like, yes, I have just the thing. Come with me, new project, below decks. And they kind of like pull you down into the below decks, and we cut to one of the many like ballast tanks or whatever underneath the ship, and you're walking through a kind of a graveyard of cybernetic parts. We can see an arm hanging through a chain link fence that's been put up to hold a bunch of parts back. It's bulging in the middle. There's some like tubing that runs across the ceiling, and there's like various like fluid dripping out of it and hitting the floor and hissing with like a steam. Like it's not caustic, but it's so cold that when it like coolant fluid like dripping out through this cracked rubber pipe
instantly.
Yeah.
With the air. Yeah.
And they lead you down this kind of, it's not a corridor, it's just like a gully between the various like shelving units they've assembled.
This is reminding me of my dad's garage when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It's just like so full of junk, and there's like a little corridor through it, but the walls of junk are like leaning in.
Yeah. And they walk over and they say, you walk up to a covered, there's one of those blue plastic tarps, and it's weighted down at the bottom. It's got little like bricks holding the bottom of it, and they bend over and they pick up a brick and set it down, and they like grab the edge of the tarp, and then they look up at you, or maybe look kind of laterally, because even crouched down they're kind of at eye level with you, and they're like, a question first, relay, what is the miracle of life?
And I just kind of like shrug. For my part, I would have to say it's resiliency.
They nod. Yes, necessary to live, to continue. But no, I'm thinking procreation. And they like yank the tarp off, and underneath there's this this cradle essentially, and all of the tubing and stuff. Like this is where, again, in the anime, it's just an absurd amount of cabling and tubes. They all kind of like run back into the back of this cradle, and then curled up in the fetal position is this like perfect android. Like you can just barely see the seams around where the joints have been put together. They're just this little kind of agendered, like curled up like form.
I can tell you've been playing near.
And there's just like this bundle of cabling running out of the back of their neck into the cradle.
And yeah, I think, although I'm sure this wasn't Skipper's intent, this is like really upsetting for my character.
Yeah, totally.
Relay like starts to cry. For sure.
And like, and I think
puts out a hand that is like shaking.
It takes a second for Skipper to notice, and then they turn to you and they nod as if this is the appropriate response, and they're like, yes, beautiful, unfinished.
And yeah, I'm like curling into a ball on the floor of the ship, and I'm just like, well, what can I do about it?
And they say they like tap their chest, and it's like a deep like metallic sound, and
clunk, clunk.
Yeah, and they're like, this form merely a beta test, perfection of machine, within still human, but this, and it gestures with a one of its many arms. Like it's like every time we see one of its arms, it's like a different manipulator
arm,
unfolding
yeah.
from its chest. So it like gestures with this arm, and it says alternate version upgrade.
Are you going to put yourself in it?
And they nod, and they say, soon. But we need your help.
Yeah, and I like take a shuddering breath, and then we probably just cut because I'll commit to helping. But,
Yeah, totally. Cool. Okay. So I think what Skipper needs is I think that they need I don't think that it's a piece that they need. I think it's
Is it like to get them into like the process of transfer?
I think it's
And-
it's something like that.
that would be something that I could help facilitate.
Yeah, well, you're
with my whole-
a relay, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
They need a bridge. They need totally.
Yeah, well, and that's perfect because I'm obviously going to have to betray them and steal this body, of
Yeah.
course.
Totally. And
But,
this would be
we'll get there.
this would be the scene in this anime where in the junk somewhere astute viewers would have like freeze framed and like move forward a few frames, and they'd seen in the background they see like Ferris kind of like in the
Yeah, totally.
in the chain link fence somewhere. Yeah. Totally all like barnacled up.
This is like the perfect, there'd be hella throwbacks, right? Like every object in here was carefully
Yeah.
like a throwback to
There's
some
a
other
there's
thing.
a there's a puppy cat in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I dig it. Cool. Okay. So you have your firewall, and they need you to help perform.
Okay, and how much does my firewall cost? And are we
The eternal question.
how are we figuring this out? Is this like a hacker deck essentially?
I
It's like because it's like a subset of a hacker deck essentially.
think two.
don't need
I think two cred is the amount that this thing costs.
Okay, cool. So I have 4 cred left. Great. And I have this thing, which I will add under equipment. And it's like a personal firewall.
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's essentially like the defensive portion of a cyber deck only.
Right. Repurposed for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
So
'cause firewall protects the deck software from harm. Spend a point of firewall to prevent an ice attack from damaging your programs.
excellent. So it's just
It's
got like
effectively
a
that.
built-in point of firewall,
Yeah.
basically. Like, because otherwise Dave? How does a firewall work normally?
It's just like health that comes off, or like armor
Right.
that comes off before you have to
Yeah,
rebuy
it's like
programs.
Perfect. Okay.
Ablative. Yeah, so it has like 1 or 2 points.
Mhm.
What seems fair to you, Adam?
I think it probably has 1. If you pay 3, you can have 2 points.
It's 1, but it refreshes every mission.
I think
kind
that's
of
how it
thing?
works. Yeah, as long as
Yeah,
you
okay,
don't say
cool.
that it gets destroyed or damaged or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so then I'll just take a 1 point that refreshes.
Yeah,
That's good.
I was reading it. If you take like a significant amount of damage to the deck, you need to pay to repair it. But I guess that's something the value is lost or broken.
Yeah.
Sort of deal.
Totally. Yeah. I like
Yeah,
that.
okay, cool. That makes sense. Great.
Okay,
No,
so
I'm into that.
Drez, have you been doing anything while these guys are goofing around in meat space and punching teenagers and being friends with weird boat crabs?
I'd like to conduct the operation. Since we're now on clocks, and I have an opportunity while they're finding that out.
Okay.
Yeah, so I need to describe the operation, and it's basically I've got to melt some ice, so it's like looking at these kinds of programs, the attacks that they've done before, going through a bunch of data is like a really dull one because you just kind of see like gosh, it'd be really odd because Drez's like face mask, I guess, gives off a little bit of a glow, set up a bank of screens that are also kind of giving off a glow, so there'd just be kind of no distance of like weirdly shifting light patterns, and you just kind of hear clacking away on keyboards, because obviously if you're a real hacker, you use like a mechanical keyboard, so it goes click click.
Yep. Yep. Nothing like having your hands on the deck. Well, it's funny because even in like Snow Crash and Neuromancer, the physical interface with the deck is still a thing, right? Like the case describes like punching deck and like using the keys. So yeah, there's precedent for sure. Okay, so for performing the operation, you're gonna roll plus edge, and the people who are doing this it's just you're just gonna go into the code that that Fractal Prophet gave you, and you're gonna crack it. You're just gonna do hacker work.
Yeah, it is very just kind of menial work. There's of course an element of creativity to it.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Well, and you have to do it.
program
You
would
have to
have
do
been-
it from within the subsystem of Fractal Prophet so that it can observe. Right? It wants to learn from what you did rather than having to like work backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, what is your? I guess. I guess you can roll, and then I'll tell you. I'll tell you something if it gets complicated if you get there.
Okay.
Okay.
That's neat.
All right. So here's the thing. You do it. You get your opportunity. You do the thing. But it won't go as smoothly as you'd like. I get to choose either a preliminary task was not completed on time or accurately, or there's an unexpected complication. The unexpected complication here is that partway through it, and this is your jam. You're fucking surfing the information superhighway. You know how to do this thing, but the thing you maybe didn't count on is that you are being observed. You've introduced a leak into the Fractal Prophet system. Someone, whoever is the like handler for your blackmail at Elixir, has the IP, like has information that might lead them to, to Fractal Prophet, and you maybe didn't see them hitching a ride on the way. Yeah.
Yeah. So I deserve that.
Cool. Okay. All right. So you do resolve your Fractal Prophet. The system learns how to crack this particular type of copy protection. Learns it from you and integrates it into its database. And it thanks you for your service to the Fractal Prophet Collective. And so your name goes in the great list of credits, and I'm sure Drez is in there a bunch of times, right? Like your database of contributions has increased. I see Fractal Prophet as a sort of a group owned project where nobody really has like control or ownership of it. It just exists on its own, but people make note of where it's like a wiki, right? Like people are like, I taught it how to crack this particular copy protection, so that later when that copy protection gets updated, people can learn the methods. They can learn from the methods you used and contribute to it. Ultimately, this thing eventually should be able to just crack all copy protection forever and like take apart any kind of defense. It could be used
fundamentally
horribly, but
circumvents all subverts copy protection as a concept.
it's becoming some people want it to be like a skeleton key, right? That like to destroy the idea of private intellectual property, that it opens all doors. But there are other like conspiracy theories that are like, no, it's actually like an American government shard AI that someone like the Chinese government was building to use to hack America. Like there's all these like different theories about what Liquid Profit is, but no one has the real answer. It's just this morass of hackery.
And if you're checking it out in cyberspace, like when you get updated onto it, you get to like add your own graphics. So I don't know if you ever saw like the Reddit Places thing, where it was like a big board, and you could just like every user could like contribute 1 pixel sort of thing. So it ends up like taking pictures or like parts of the zeitgeist in terms of like hacker groups, and they sign it in places.
Yeah, it's cool. I
Yeah,
like
I'm
I
sure.
like the idea here. So I'm just gonna hold on a second. I'm doing something that is don't even worry about it. It's nothing. No problem. Okay, good. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. And I think I think that's good. So so you've fulfilled your requirement to Fractal Profit. You don't have a -1.
Yay.
Could Fractal Profit crack an encryption that even it couldn't create? Yeah, exactly. It's IP Jesus. So I guess then the next thing is moving on with your continued legwork. So you want to go and check out the apartment?
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Okay, so who's there physically? I think Relay, you'll get your you'll get your firewall when we start the action phase. But who's there?
I think physically it's me, Jinx, and Relay, right?
Yeah, I show up.
Okay.
And like I have like a bruise like under my eye and like a scab like on my nose still, and I'm just like totally like playing it off like nothing happened.
Yeah, you look tough and cool.
I look tough and cool.
And Adam,
Yes.
is it okay for me to have my stealth helicopter drone following me around as security?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, cool.
Side note, as soon as we see Relay and Relay looks at Jinx in any way, I basically just go, she got into a fight with a 13-year-old.
Yeah, and I just like blink. And don't like Relay is still, I imagine that I'm like shortly after having that previous experience that I had. So I'm all fucked up, but maybe y'all don't notice because Relay is always kind of weird.
Yeah.
But Relay is just kind of like taking all of their emotions and put them in a little tiny box somewhere deep inside themselves where they don't need to open it ever again. I just walk over and say, I'm just like, which apartment is it?
So you're outside of one of the many city the municipal these are like former government before the government collapsed projects. Essentially, it's a giant arcology. You're meant to live and work and shop within the arcology and never have to leave. So it's like an enormous kind of matte gray pyramid whose outsides up to about the 3rd or 4th floor are covered in like a watermark of graffiti. They're still clinging to one side, this like polymer and plastic scaffolding that some like graffiti collective they can assemble to like climb quickly, and then it dissolves as the snow and rain, like it's biodegradable scaffolding essentially.
Sick.
So you can see it clinging to one side of the pyramid, sort of sliding off as it's dissolving. So these pipes are kind of like Dali-esque, like melting. And then the whole thing is just covered in graffiti. And then in the air all around it is the AR like illuminating the space, advertising the building. And I think as you walk up, it's got the address number, 1674-A, because there's like a half dozen entrances on each side. And it's a full city block and probably like 100 stories of giant pyramidal.
And this is like Gothenburg Arcology 6 or something.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, one of the things, and it's maintained.
And there are like a few of these in a row that are like in various stages of completion.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like they were partly crafted. We lost our hacker. There we go. They were partly crafted while the government still existed, and then the government collapsed. And the ones that are still up were bought up by various organizations. Right, Hasty Mart bought a bunch of them. I think some of them are. Like collectively owned, right? Where the people that already live there were like, no, fuck you, corporations. We already live here, and the government has collapsed. We own this place.
One of them's a giant housing co-op.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This one though, is under the control of, I think probably one of the like a subsidiary of one of the larger corporations. So maybe Ether. And as such, most of the building is automated. So that's a thing. And his address is somewhere in this pyramid.
All right, so I like glare at Katya and be like, the fuck? And then like turn to Relay and I'm just like, it's this one, like come this way, etc. And it's number 1435B.
And I suppose we head there.
Yeah.
Okay. So this building has a strict no weapons, no drugs. Like there's contraband checkpoints at every entrance. So you walk into the lobby, and there's a huge kind of archway with a scanner. It's a big like bioscanner. There's a thin kind of like misting of nanoparticles that you have to walk through to get inside.
Oh, fantastic.
And it's got a big like one of those infographic AR things in the middle of a pillar showing all the different things that are not allowed. There's a curfew notification. Yeah, the robot nannies that run this place keep a pretty tight ship. But the actual place is pretty fucking run down, right? Like the illumination of this orange, this amber glow from the warning pillar that's like rotating and telling you all the things you're not allowed to do here, illuminates a cracked tile floor, bits of garbage and debris that have blown in from outside as people have held the door open. Discarded like clothes and trash that has kind of just been like shoved to the sides of this. Imagine like a rundown subway station as the aesthetic here.
Mm-hmm. So,
Well, Relay just walks through because they don't have anything contraband.
I have contraband things. So, you just gonna go by yourself then?
So Relay, you don't have any weapons or?
I don't have a weapon with me.
Okay.
I brought my drone along, but I just get it. I'm just like, yeah, just orbit this building until I come out.
Okay.
Katja has her pistol with her, probably. I can't imagine she's lugging a big rifle around everywhere. Unless we're doing something specific. So.
Yeah, the big rifle is for action phase only.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how, like, I don't know whether or not Jinx carried her gun to the arcade, but she probably has, like, drugs in her pockets.
Is there a way to like stash things, or is it just like you can't come in if you have this stuff?
I don't know.
Like looking around the checkpoint here, is there like a
Place where
like,
visitors leave their thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think there's there's probably it looks like an armored
like a coat check, right?
Yeah, like an armored post office box, like an armored post box, like a big green and white Hasty Mart brand like safe. And it's got an automated drone thing attached to the front of it, and you just put all your stuff, it scans it, gives you a ticket, and charges you to hold your stuff.
Last time I put something in storage, he
Yeah,
has deleted it.
Yeah, you're going through your pockets for contraband, you pull out like your car keys. You just throw them on the floor.
Yeah, and Relay's on the other side of this scanner, just like.
I just take my pistol out of my jacket and like deposit it in the thing.
Okay.
And like Jinx is like standing there and she's got her hands in her pockets and she's just like, yeah, it's fine. I'll hang out here.
You can keep watch for anyone who might also be searching for this person.
Yeah,
If the common act
yeah.
comes by,
I'm keeping watch. That's what I'm doing.
certainly.
If you're about to get shot by something, please tell us. And then walk through now that I've got nothing.
Okay. So as you walk through the nanite cloud, there's a faint like kind of like when your hand's asleep, like a tingling on your skin. You, like walk through, and you smell faintly of like lemon, like cleaner, like cleanser.
There's like a little PSA that's like, remember to close your eyes and do not breathe in while passing through the field.
Yeah, and then even underneath that, in even smaller text, it's like walking through the field is a legal agreement that you will not see the court. Like telling you like if you get cancer from
We're
walking
not
through the
liable
nano.
for any blah blah blah. Yeah.
So on the arch, there's actually a logo of a heart with two like angel wings and a sword, and it says Archangel Defense on it, and then underneath it says like a sub company of Freyr Aethertech. Like it's an allied like security thing that they've done, and we just see this logo as you pass by it. Someone has drawn with spray paint like balls on the heart, so the sword looks like a penis. And you walk in, and the atrium, the central core of this thing, you can envision it as a bank, a circular bank of maybe like 12 or 14 elevators, and when you step in, the elevators go up and then they branch out like a tree that's grown inside the pyramid. So they branch out and then slide into the different floors. So there's this huge bank of things, and as you walk through, the place is again like quite sparse. It's like being in a rundown like toilet, basically, not the facility, but like a bathroom. All kinds of like grungy like tile. The walls have condensation on them because there's some kind of failing like air recycler in here, making it all damp. But the AR, which is flickering on and off, creates the illusion of like a park. So you're walking through a couple of inches of green AR fronds of grass. There's a tree that keeps blinking in and out. You can hear the sounds of like a fountain or like water running somewhere in the ambient AR, and like kids laughing and stuff. But it because it's all like gravelly and crackly, it kind of just sounds creepy. And yeah, so you're walking down this path essentially towards the elevator bank in the center.
All right, well, we have to go up a flight or two, I think. Jinx, what was the address again?
I was 1435B. And like here, and she just like sends it to you. Like, she just doesn't want to talk to you. She's doing something else downstairs in the lobby while you guys are upstairs.
What is she doing?
Oh, she's fucking around. She's not doing anything important. She wants to pretend like she's
got her can of spray paint out.
Oh yeah, totally. She's graffitiing.
Okay.
What a jerk.
What a jerk.
And like maybe doing a couple hand-to-hand drug deals.
Totally.
Oh yeah, she was doing that at the arcade too, 100%. Like
you got it. You got to hustle wherever you're at.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's where the poop reputation came from.
So you go to the bank and you can just boop, 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 put in the address and it'll take you to that bank and that floor.
Yeah.
Okay.
We take the elevator.
Okay. Yeah. So the elevator, we cut to the elevator opening on one of the many residential floors. There's a central hub with a map, and then you can walk around to find the place. And I think that we see you walking up to the door. So just like all the other doors in this thing, it's like slightly grimy. They're slide away doors. And you can walk up to them, and the auto butler will like scan you and let someone know that you're here. And then like basically like a doorbell. But you can see it. You haven't walked up to it yet.
Yeah, I walk up and do the equivalent of like knocking on the door.
Okay. Yeah. So you step on the little the welcome mat tile, and it chimes brokenly, and then you see a beam of light just like scan you.
At least it doesn't chime coolly.
Doesn't chime coolly. Inside you hear a faint chiming, and then there's some time, and then a voice comes on over an intercom. And he says something in a language I don't think either of you understand. He sounds annoyed. It's a deep voice.
Open the door.
He says something else, and then there's the crackling of the intercom going off.
Doesn't sound like our guy.
It could be Freak's parent or captor.
Suppose that's so.
Maybe he found someone to run security.
Well, then, best we open this up.
And I look at you like, I don't have anything.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so I look up at you. I'm like, I'm not sure how we're going to open the door, but
There's always option 1, which is smash the fucking thing. And then option 2, which is a little bit less brute force, would be get the guys to do something.
Yeah, and I like
Assuming this is automatic in some way.
well, everything is right because it's an
Yeah,
Aethertech
it's an Aethertech.
associated building.
Yep.
And so yeah, I just like ping Drez over our like communication.
Yeah.
Can you help us with this door? And I'm like streaming to you now, so you can like see the door in front of me. The people inside don't want to open it for us.
Oh, right. Yeah, you got an address, didn't you? So that should be. You
Yeah,
expecting?
and
the
I'm
kid-
like looking at the tag on the door so that you can see what the address is.
Did you already try asking nicely?
As nicely as I think they're going to listen to.
She didn't ask very nicely. I like sub-vocalized you.
It's unsurprising.
You guys are jerks.
Well, whatever. You were like, open the door.
It's true.
Well,
It's not wrong.
You weren't nice.
I didn't understand what he was saying, so fuck it.
Yeah, Katya's racist. Excellent. Good news.
Yeah, I can tell you he wasn't speaking French. Or English, I guess, because you speak that.
And then yeah, Relay
Okay.
probably speaks some like pidgin of
You speak Leviat
Like-
tongue.
yeah, Leviat, and then also
Robotsky.
Whatever like Farsi subset my crew speaks.
Yeah.
But yeah. And so like, do you need me to plug in or can you handle it remotely?
Could certainly make it much easier if you could. I guess find a security terminal or something. I don't know. Anything that's got an exposed fuse box, probably.
Yeah, I mean you can get in there through the matrix, right? Because the building it's not like the last facility where you were cut off. The building is connected to the greater matrix.
Right,
so-
but like further out I do it from, the more opportunities there are for me to.
It's true.
have
A land
But yeah.
is always faster than the matrix.
Relay is also just going to say, this is also another hacker's home that we are attempting to break into. I have a feeling it will expose me to a great deal of blowback. Maybe it would be best if you came in from another approach.
Oh yeah, no, okay, fine.
And again, I'm just like, yeah. And because it's a SimSense recording, you can, like, when you're like listening to me, you also know that I'm like touching the leads on the back of my neck and that one of them is like dead and scorched out.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, I'll just make my way into the blah 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 hack things. It's fine. I'll do it.
Okay. So you want to gain access to the building. So I guess we cut to the greater municipal matrix grid, right? And in the grid, the size of the network indicates the importance and the amount of data there. So these places are significant hubs of incoming and outgoing data, right? It's all the personal connections of every apartment and every business, plus all the infrastructure stuff. So in the municipal grid, there are these kind of like trapezoidal shapes, these things, and they've taken on different forms over time, but they're built on the original architecture, the original system architecture that the municipal government put in place. So you can recognize them. They're a known factor of the skyline of the municipal grid. So it's easy to find the system, but anything more than casual access is going to require that you back hack it.
Yeah, great. Okay. So let's make a start, as we always do, with login, which is rolling synth.
Okay.
Yeah, that goes great.
Okay. Does anything in particular, are there specific results for a miss on?
Yeah, I'm in, but the MC chooses two of the options on the login sheets, which are I get a passive trace, ICE is activated, an alert is triggered, and your access is restricted, and I take a -1 ongoing to moves in this system.
Cool. Okay. So I think I'm gonna take passive trace.
Okay.
And your access is restricted. I think that this is a dense of all of the blocks, like because you've hacked. Everybody's hacked in arcology at some point or another, and you've hacked these
Just
before.
everyone.
Every hacker worth a damn. I mean, it's like a big, like they're big targets, right? So this one, however, is one of the better defended ones matrix wise because it's been upgraded since the last time you were here, and Aether has installed some automated defense protocols, so you can get in, but it's slow going, and you're finding that your deck is running slow. It has a lot of processes that you're having to keep at bay, and that's you can maybe feel the deck start to warm up under your hands as you access the system.
Okay. Right. Let's see if I've got any.
What's your
extra stuff?
So you're at one of what's your total stealth or whatever it's called? 4. Okay, so you're at one.
I have very good.
Yeah,
Stealth.
1 of 4 on the trace.
Yep. Right. Let's roll console cowboy as well. Just to see if I've got any extra bits and bobs to hold on to protect myself while I'm in there. Nope.
Well, I mean, it's better than your last roll.
Sure is.
Awesome.
No, just no bonuses. There's no failure. On
Yeah, I mean, there
console
is still failure, right? You still failed, but okay. So
there's no.
yeah, there's no specific fail. Okay, so the system, yeah, as you log in, you take a minute to get your bearings, and yeah, the system is moving incredibly fast, right? Like they have, as Aether does, they have paired off any kind of human error. So when you start going looking for like human coded loopholes, nope, your CPU is like jumping, like you're getting these massive CPU spikes as your deck tries to accommodate for the fact that the system is just running a lot hotter than you're used to because it's not meant to have any humans in it. Yep. So you're gonna have to code fast because the system is already curious about you. You can see you're getting multiple requests, like who is pings and stuff, very quickly.
Okay.
So laid out before you, you can see the subsystems of the building, and I think it contains like lots of different kinds of subsystem. But what you're looking for, I guess, is there like an IO system? I forget where the list of types is, but
yeah, I always lose the list as well. It's hidden somewhere. I think it's called Matrix Architecture.
I found it, yeah. Subsystems, routines, and security measures. So you're in the login gate. That's the system you're in now. There is a building services node. There are production control systems for the various manufactories in the building that run the shops. There's a database that contains all the information about the people that live here. And then somewhere inside this pyramid of light is the root system that runs the whole building. You don't have root access, but you're in the login gate now.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really need root. I need. I feel like building service nodes.
Yep.
Would handle doors and stuff like that.
Yep. Activate, deactivate, monitor, or reprogram a building system such as air conditioning, lights, power. Yeah. That would be like controlling like door locks and the auto butlers and stuff.
Yeah, so he has to kind of go a lot shallower than he would like, really. So he goes straight for the subsystem that he needs, because it's all really quick and really hostile. It's not a fun thing to hack.
Okay.
So let's compromise the security.
Okay. Remember, you get a -1.
Yep.
Nice. That's better.
Dang. Well, that would have been a 10, except I got a -1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he's got a +1 as well because of my my thingamabob, my program.
Oh, okay, cool.
Up to 10. So it cancels out my negative. So I've got 4 hold over that, and then I'm gonna go ahead and try and manipulate the systems.
Okay. So obviously the building services node has automated like matrix security. So there's a credentials system that you're going to need to bypass or deactivate before you can gain access to that node. So if you spend one of your security measure hold, you can deal with it.
Yep, I'm happy to do that. I'll go down to 3 hold. It still gives me a nice buffer against if I screw this up.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, let's manipulate with my new and improved thingamabob. Program. Again, it's the same word I forgot twice.
It's okay. In the future, they don't use that word to describe things.
Yeah.
We've given it up.
So 4, 0, because I'm a -1 + 1.
Mm-hmm.
7, 9.
Okay.
That's 2 hold.
All right. So you have access to all of the basic building systems that involve lighting, power, air conditioning, etc. You can use your hold to activate or deactivate, monitor or reprogram any of those systems. So would you like to use a hold to open the door?
Yeah, it like comes back and I'm like, okay, doors, physical objects. You should be able to open with the handle. Does nobody know how to pick locks anymore?
The lock is a magnet, so I think what we see in the Matrix is you're in this subsystem and you've pulled up the sphere for the door locking systems, unfolded it, and now you have 10,000 little rectangles spread out before you, and you can like tap any individual one to pop open one of the doors. I guess, or you could just like sweep your arm across it and open all the doors in the building.
Are you ready? You ready? You want to go? Yep.
Yes.
Yep. You got it. Yep. Yep. Okay. And go.
Okay, and so
And the door just kind of-
you find the door, and, zoom, and then you hear a click, and as the maglock turns off, and the door slides open.
As soon as the door opens, I step inside so that like if there's anybody on the other side like trying to close it again, like I'm already on the threshold.
Perfect. Okay, so yeah, and I think we just see Katya take the lead and stride into the room. So let's take our last break here, and we'll see what's inside the apartment when we get back. We'll see if anybody else gets punched or thrown out a window or...
Well, I don't have a gun, so if anybody's got to fight, it's going to be punches.
Yeah, a Krug employee rips your arm off as soon as you walk in. I had it in my notes. Sorry.
That sounds par for the course, yeah.
All right, stick around. There may or may not be loss of limbs when we return.